Jamaica. Vos vas a decir, no, son unos negros cultivando bananas. No es así. Son iguales a nosotros. Con la única diferencia de que fuman más porro y que cultivan bananas. Jamaica tiene 2,5 millones de kilómetros, 2,5 millones de habitantes, una superficie de 10.990 kilómetros cuadrados, la capital es Kingston, una mortalidad infantil del 6%, alta. El 80% de la población nada más tiene acceso al agua potable, el 20% no. Hay casi un 14% de analfabetismo, hay un 20% de desempleo, mira, igual que acá. Y el 35% de la población es pobre, casi igual que acá, ¿no? No nos hagamos mucho porque estamos ahí. Debe 4.000 millones de dólares a distintos organismos. Hace poco, en el junio del 2001, se filmó Life and Debt, Vida y Deuda, una película dirigida por Stephanie Black, que se estrenó en New York en junio del 2001, en el marco del Festival de Human Rights Watch. Es una idea de un film que empezó en los 90 y que se fue realizando con distintos testimonios de cómo fue el proceso de aprete del Fondo Monetario de Jamaica. Esto que vamos a ver es un cachito, son 12 minutos nada más, de 1 hora y media que se va a pasar mañana en el Festival de Cine Independiente de Buenos Aires. Te digo por si querés ver la peli entera, está muy bien la película. Se va a exhibir mañana, martes 23, a las 11:15, en el Hoyts Abasto. ¿Qué es el Hoyts Abasto?
Una cadena, ¿no?
Una cadena de cine que está en el Abasto.
Bueno, yo salgo cada vez menos, no sé ni qué es el Hoyts Abasto. El viernes 26 a las 4:30 en el Hoyts Abasto y el domingo 28 a las 2:30 de la tarde. Sale 4 mangos la entrada, o sea que entre todos se banca. Y la película está realmente muy bien. Veamos la primera parte, a donde, mira, te doy solo los títulos. Conflicto social, escasez de comida y combustible, estallido social en la isla, represión policial. Habla el Fondo Monetario, dice que Jamaica se tiene que globalizar. Les piden un nuevo ajuste. Explica el ex primer ministro de Jamaica que es para ellos la negociación con el fondo. Los bancos privados están cayendo uno a uno. La moneda se empieza a devaluar y los precios no paran de subir. Como te dije, Argentina, vida y deuda. Primera parte.
The government has called out the national reserves as civil unrest grips the nation this evening. 41 people have been arrested island-wide today in the worst case of civil unrest to rock Jamaica in many years.
Food and major commodities run low as Jamaicans remain locked inside.
Several persons have been shot and injured or killed.
Shortly after 3, a single bullet pierced the chest of the 25-year-old expectant mother as she stood at the intersection of Grand Spain and Shorted Roads. Her family was tugging at her lifeless body.
Hospitals, airlines and vendors hurting from the wound of violent protests. A team from the IMF, which is currently in Jamaica, is wrapping up a 4-day visit for a technical assessment of the country's financial situation.
The issue is to make globalization work for the benefit of all. There will not be a good future for the rich if there is no prospect for a better future for the poor.
Stay tuned to the details on these and other stories after the break.
Baskin-Robbins, where the world goes for ice cream.
On your way out of the airport, you stop to make an exchange of money.
I get $2.50. Thank you. 20, please. How are you?
20. You are excited by the large sheaf of Jamaican dollars you get in exchange for your $20.
You're gonna get $1,850. $1,850. I feel rich right now. How much does it cost for a shirt down here? An average. How much does it cost for a T-shirt down here?
You have not yet been to a shop to see how little your large sheaf of money can buy. It would not occur to you that the weakness of your newly traded money is a result of many devaluations imposed by the International Monetary Fund.
The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, is urging Jamaica to reverse the declining fiscal deficit as a catalyst for economic growth.
When the private banks won't lend to you, then you've got to do something if you're the leader of a country. And typically what you've got to do is to cut back your spending in some way and try and get more money so that the impact of those cutbacks are not as severe as they otherwise would be. And it's at that point that you generally come to the IMF.
The whole idea was to set conditions which the government could not meet. And when the government failed to meet them, you would have to renegotiate a new loan in which the conditions became tighter. So the IMF didn't say, cut out this education program or cut out this health program. What the IMF said is, you must spend only so much money on health and education. And the implication of that was that you had to cut out some programs.
Essentially what the IMF wanted us to do was to devalue our currency. That's the first thing, to make our dollar cheaper.
They needed to expand their exports and diminish their imports. And the best way of doing that is to make foreign currency more expensive.
And since our society is so heavily dependent on imported food, imported fuel, imported books to go to school, imported medicine, when we devalue, the cost of those things we import go up to the citizens. And as a result, the economy today is much more under the control of foreigners, not necessarily through direct ownership, but through the mechanism of debt. In the 1970s, we owed $800 million. By the end of the 1980s, we owed $4 billion. Nowadays, we owe $7 billion. So the debt is rising, and all the time the debt is rising, our capacity to export, to produce, is getting less.
The Jamaica that I knew, the Jamaica in which I grew up, is not the Jamaica that you, a tourist, would see now. That Jamaica no longer exists. That Jamaica no longer exists, partly for the usual reason, the passing of time, and partly because of this new global economy.
Well, when you say the onion producing this year, you can look at every house or every yard that you see around here. Everybody, all young, middle-aged, involved in picking out onion, sowing onion, reaping onion, bagging up onion. So everybody was involved in the production in this district. But right now, it is just a trickle, just the brave one them.
When it is ready for harvesting, you see imported potato right out in front of your home being sold. Potato that's grown in Idaho or New Brunswick or some other parts.
Hello? The shipment come every week, you know. Them can Irish, the US, put it in America, the one in Canada. And the red peas, they sell out America.
When I was a little boy, I grew. Everybody that you see around here, their livelihood was planting peanuts. All those days are over. Over and gone.
All this land is what we used to farm carrots. Now we cannot farm anymore. We don't got any market for it. Because through the foreign carrots.
It's an insult to our dignity of not being able to produce and sell in your own market at home.
It's a free market, and I've learned that because of the financial problem that the government is under with the World Bank and the IMF. They are the one who institute the pressure on the government as far as we learn.
Fondo Monetario, segunda parte, Stanley Fischer, que es igual al dueño de la fábrica de Homero Simpson, ¿viste este flaquito con los lentecitos? Representante del Fondo Monetario insiste en lo obvio, ¿no? En reducir las barreras del comercio, o sea, zona libre. Así es como se crearon las famosas free zones en Jamaica, lugares a donde mandan el algodón, el hilo, los botones, qué sé yo, y le ponen el sello Gap, o le ponen el sello Tommy Hilfiger, o Banana Republic, o lo que sea, y vuelve a Estados Unidos. Nadie paga impuestos y explotan a la gente de la peor manera. Por otro lado, el tema de las opciones de exportación. Les dicen a los jamaiquinos, pueden producir pocas cosas, las que no compitan con Estados Unidos, claro. Leche, bueno, leche sí, pero depende. Los productores de leche tirando, lo vas a ver ahora, miles de litros de leche a la tierra, a la basura, porque no tienen quien se los compre y Estados Unidos no lo autoriza. Fondo Monetario, parte 2. Y quédate acá enganchado después, porque viene TBR, dale.
Why did we think they should reduce trade barriers? The reason is that Jamaica is a very small country. It's not a country which could sort of thrive by producing only for itself. We believe very firmly that countries are going to grow better if they're integrated into the world economy, and that means reducing tariffs. And it needed to allow its importers, its people, access to goods from the rest of the world, rather than have them rely on this little economy.
They're telling you that, well, look, if we lend you $50 million, in return you have to lower all your trade barriers, and you have to compete with us on a level playing field. Well, that is all double talk.
It was at this time that the competition from reconstituted milk started to get severe.
We ended up with having an influx of powder which destroyed the dairy industry. Powder became normal form of milk consumption, and the dairy industry was unable to sell their fresh milk.
Frank Quarry says he's been supplying fresh milk to Century Farm Products for 15 years. After last Sunday's collection, he says he was told that the company had too much milk and would not collect any more for an indefinite period. So on Friday, with nowhere to take 5 days worth of milk, he had to get rid of it.
The banks won't invest in it, private investors won't invest in it, because the future looks dim.
In the farmer years, banana was on top. Banana was good. We could call it green gold in those days, because a farmer could export his banana. He could have a nice dwelling, he could have a car, but no, you just can't, you just living on survival, no.
All we can do, we can plant the banana because we love to plant, right? But we can't sustain our children without banana anymore. And that is the reason, one of the main reasons for the young man on the street now, looting and shooting, because the parents can't help them anymore. Guys, banana, just banana, we used to think of to send our children to school.
We had a case where one of the local businessmen thought it'd be a good deal if he could buy some chicken cheap. But they came up with an idea that they would import some chicken. This chicken, it turns out upon examination, was I think about 20 years old. When we determined that yes, it was not for human consumption, he tried to convince us that the shipment only came here accidentally, and that the shipment was in fact for Haiti, and that we should release it back into his custody so he could send it on to Haiti.
Circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man?
When I got here, we had about maybe 120 guards. Today we're probably about 1,800 guards. We have 300 dogs, and we have branches all over the island.
It sounds strange, might sound foolish, but things are getting better. Every day another fall victim to the beretta.
Is it a growing industry? I would say yes, it is. I mean, with the high crime rate, you know, there's always a need to protect life and property. We do work for the hotels, all the homes, we do home protection and so on.
Circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man?
The violence caused a lot of death. The violence. Without the violence, you wouldn't have so much people really dead still, you know. I met the person in for about 30 years. About 30 years. Met the person about 2 years ago now. I started to make the couple them. The furniture thing kind of get slow like. But you know where to sell.
Where does Jamaica stand now? is interesting. Incidentally, there is an IMF program with Jamaica at the moment. We're not lending them money, but we have what's called a staff-monitored program.
We don't have an IMF agreement. We are following what the IMF would have wanted us to do on an agreement anyway. So that the influence of IMF is still very much here. We're not getting any IMF money, but we're still doing what they want us to do.